Man, shout out to Dante's Boxing Nation.
DBN Nation, of course. Support DBN Nation. You're hearing it from Floyd Money Mayweather.
It's Terrence Crawford, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
This is Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
Hi, you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation. Woo! Hey.
If you know, you know. And if you saw my last video, then you know Canelo Alvarez wants no smoke with Demetrius Andrade. He said that Demetrius Andrade is a good fighter. However, he presents no challenge and he's a boring fighter, which is another code word for I can't beat you. I can't figure out that puzzle. That being said, Demetrius Andrade responded to Canelo Alvarez and he stated, Canelo, stop talking out of your ass. If you don't believe I'm a challenge, you would have unified with me in September for Undisputed. Get Oscar DeLa Hoya pants off and grow some cojones. You can't duck forever. Put your big boy gloves on and fight me. Hashtag pray for Spence, hashtag 18. Now, Demetrius Andrade, basically what he stated, somebody donate some cojones to Canelo Alvarez so he could get in the ring with me. That's basically what he stated. Keep in mind, Charlo already stated as well, I'll fight Canelo Alvarez in Mexico, his own country. And Canelo Alvarez still wants no smoke. That's why Canelo Alvarez is not cut from the same cloth as Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, because these guys were willing to fight each other. Keep in mind, the rivalry between the two started like 2 years ago. And keep in mind, Canelo Alvarez has been ducking Andrade and Charlo for 5 years now. He ducked Jermell Charlo at 154, and that ended up costing Golden Boy, ended up losing Charlo in the process, thanks to Canelo Alvarez and the fact that Canelo didn't want no smoke with a Jermell Charlo. Now he ducks Jermall Charlo, vacated his belt just to not fight Jermall Charlo, and he's doing the same to duck Andrade. Keep in mind, when Andrade was at 154 and he had the WBO title, he never fought Andrade, never even mentioned him, and as soon as Smith won the title, he fought him for the title. And keep in mind, yet again, Canelo Alvarez fought Ricky Hatton brother and Cotto brother when he was on the way up. And to make matter worse, he fought Ricky Hatton brother for a title at 154 when Ricky Hatton was fighting at 147. Some way, somehow, he fought him for a vacant belt at 154. Talking about being on the hope list. Talking about fighting fighters on the way out the door, like a Kovalev, like a Gennady Golovkin. Even his biggest wins is against fighters that's on the way out the door, like a Kovalev and a Gennady Golovkin, or fighting fighters inactive that's tailor-made for his style. So we all know what Canelo Alvarez is doing. If he really have improved since the Floyd Mayweather loss, well, fighting Andrade and prove it, because Andrade and Floyd Mayweather have something similar. And that's, they could box, fight in the inside, and fight mid-range, something that Canelo Alvarez can't do, because Canelo Alvarez is stuck in the mud with his feet. Yeah, he has fast hands, but his feet are stuck in the mud. That being said, is a reason why Canelo Alvarez is fighting Kovalev at 175 and not an Andrade or a Charlo at 160. It's not because he wants a tougher challenge. It's because he wants a cherry pick. Kovalev is the weakest link at 175. He's food at this moment. Yard, with only 18 pro fights and 12 amateur fights, almost knocked out of Kovalev, and he didn't even spar in training. Keep in mind, Yard never fought a top-level opponent, so Kovalev is food at this moment. Canelo Alvarez, he was strategic, winning the title at 168, fighting a Rocky Fielding that got knocked out earlier that year in the first round. He fought him for a title, and now he's fighting Kovalev for a title at 175. So we all peeping what he's doing. He's obviously trying to make history and legacy of fighters on their way out, like a Kovalev. That being said, if you want to show that you improved, then fight an Andrade. Because when you fought Lara, we saw you getting outboxed. And even in Amir Khan, he was outboxing Canelo Alvarez for the first 3 rounds. And we saw what Terence Crawford did to him from round 1. That being said, that's the different class between the Terence Crawford and the Canelo Alvarez. And that's why Canelo Alvarez is never pound for pound #1, because he's ducking everybody. How is you supposed to be pound for pound #1 and you're not willing to face Andrade and Charlo because you don't like their style? Can you picture Terence Crawford saying something like that? Can you imagine the backlash that Terence Crawford will receive as a pound for pound #1? I mean, it's ridiculous for Canelo Alvarez to make such a claim when he wants to be recognized as pound for pound #1. That's why nobody ranks him as pound for pound #1, because he's ducking the best. Terence Crawford, he calling out Errol Spence. He don't care what kind of style he has. He calls out everybody. Meanwhile, Canelo Alvarez, he avoids the main competition, his biggest threat, and chooses to fight the easiest fighters, choosing the easiest path for his career. And that's the difference between an Errol Spence, a Terence Crawford, and a Canelo Alvarez, is the fact that Canelo is not cut from the same cloth. That being said, Andre say grow some cojones. We'll see if Canelo Alvarez grows some cojones. If not, he will keep maneuvering. Subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumber by the second, listen to these Canelo Alvarez casual fans. And check out my new show, Split Decision. It's a boxing debate show. Check out Lunatoon Boxing for the funniest boxing memes. All these links will be in the description box below, including my Instagram, Aki TV. Click on the notification bell to get notified every time we go live and to be continuing on the next episode of Aki TV. That being said, don't forget to check out Dante Boxing Radio Show. We back on the map. Keep that in mind. Mark it on your calendar. Do whatever you have to do. Just look out for the cookout. So be on the lookout for the radio show. Dante will rehost the show soon enough. That being said, appreciate everybody for tuning in, and peace.